we're live. It seems. I'm gonna make sure it's working over here. Yeah, looks like we're good. Okay, so we are live, and welcome to our. This is like fourth episode, maybe
Sounds like
fifth.
it.
I think it's
Or
fourth.
fifth.
Whatever. The fourth episode of our weird podcast. You'll see it is. We are joined by Mr. Now with a Twitter handle at Snarky the Goblin. I'm surprised you got the Goblin.
Well,
But
Snarky Goblin was taken. I don't know.
I figured,
There's
so you have
apparently
to
a
be
lot of Snarky Goblins out there.
apparently, and myself, Torloth, and we're gonna talk about, I guess, a little bit of everything because it was Summer Game Fest we got on Friday, and then today was the Xbox. Well, today I say today, but Sunday, June the 12th, there was the Xbox showcase, which is probably the biggest, has the most announcements of anything so far in this time zone, because there were in this bit of the year. I guess Sony kind of started the whole thing off with their state of play.
Yep.
That was okay. Not gonna say anything about. There's nothing bad about inherently bad about the state of play. It was just
There was definitely some announcements there, but
did we talk about the state of play last week?
We haven't.
We have.
Oh, we
I
did.
thought we did.
We did a little bit.
Yeah, I thought we did. Yeah, I was like, we did, didn't we? Because it was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, the state of play was fine. I don't think it was really designed to be like the big showcase for what's coming first party for Sony. But Xbox seems to put, I want to say most of their cards, not all of them, because there's a extended showcase on Tuesday. There's another showcase for them, but it's like they did last year. They're gonna have a bigger, more in depth with some of the games. So you want to start with the Friday Summer Games Fest bit?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so Guile, Street Fighter 6. Gotta have Guile, Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah.
I gotta be honest, the more I see of Street Fighter 6, the more I'm like, I'd actually want to get this game.
Yeah, it's definitely bringing it back. Initially, like, my want to play it would be more nostalgia than anything, and then now it's getting more into kind of like, okay, this looks like a legitimate on its own game.
Yeah. I just don't know if we're gonna get Cody. You got Metro City, but you don't have Cody. He's the mayor, you know. You need the mayor. It used to be Mike Haggard, that's right. For everyone who doesn't know, Mike Haggard was the mayor of Metro City, but he stepped down at some point, and Cody is now the mayor. I think it was in Street Fighter V. But what do we got here? Aliens Dark Descent was another one they showed. That was a top-down squad-based shooter. Honestly, I wasn't sold on that one. It's an Aliens game.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not going to give you that same feel from a lot of the other Aliens titles.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm down with more isometric games existing.
No, I'm fine with it existing. I'm just not sure. Yeah. I'm just going through I've got a list here. The Callisto Protocol. We saw gameplay. I think we were talking about this and how we didn't see gameplay of this game. And now we have. Now what do you think of the game?
It's looking. I mean, the thing is it's. I believe Callisto Protocol was using Unreal 5.
Probably.
So it's a much cleaner look, definitely, than what you'll get out of like Scorn, and I can't remember
I don't know
what
if
the other one is.
I don't know if Scorn's ever gonna look clean. I think they went out of their way to make that game look as utterly unnerving as possible.
Yeah,
I was trying to find the best way to say it. So I'm I'm not backing off. I'm still gonna play both. Callisto Protocol definitely looks a lot better now that I've seen gameplay for it. It
Mhm.
didn't look that far off from the trailer bits that we've seen. It's got the gruesome deaths like original Dead Space have
Mhm.
when you mess up. Uh, Honestly, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
looking clean, looking like a finished product, definitely.
yeah,
And so that's always good to see.
December, I believe, is December 2nd, which sucks
Yeah,
for them because Scorn's
still
going to be
weird.
first now.
It's still a weird release time, but
Yeah, it's a weird day. Yeah, they had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm not big in Call of Duty. It looked pretty good, like, but every Call of Duty game looks good. I
oh yeah, they
I
always look clean and good, and it's just again, I'm in the same camp as you. I'm not a I'll play it a little bit, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Which isn't to say I think it's bad. It's just
if
not my
if after the acquisition it comes to Game Pass, I probably will play the campaign if I'm
mhm.
interested. If it's interested me enough, but so far it's not like I gotta play this, so that's fine.
What you think
Next
of
was
Witchfire?
Which one was Witchfire?
Kind of like
That was the Epic Game. This gonna be Epic Game Store.
medieval
Oh, Witchfire! Yeah, this one looks
FPS.
cool. This one looks cool. I
It
don't like that
does.
it's Epic Game Store early access though, so I'm probably gonna wait for the full. I'm probably gonna wait for the full release, but Witchfire looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
what I've seen so far, it looks nice.
we skipped over Flashback 2 though. A sequel to Flashback? When did Flashback
Hmm.
come out again? Was that the
This
80s? Was that the 80s? It's crazy
oh,
to think that there's a sequel for Flashback of all games. Fort Solis. That was a sci-fi horror game. Troy Baker's in it. I don't remember this one. Oh, it's this one. The cinematic looking one. Maybe, maybe.
definitely has a kind of like Ghost of Mars feel to it, but it
Yeah,
looks interesting.
they
Not
didn't
entirely
announce a
sure what's
release
going
window,
on
so
myself.
yeah, it's one of those things. Now, routine. Routine looked much more up my alley. Did you see Routine? You remember this one?
Routine, that was the
It's a first-person survival horror game that was announced 10 years ago. Oh my
yeah.
god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. But it's got Mick Gordon doing the soundtrack, so at least it'll have an awesome soundtrack
True.
and it's Game Pass release.
Well,
So gotta check it out in the Game Pass. We're
and,
probably gonna sell a Game Pass show, but honestly, if you want to play like a lot of games,
and here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Routine also still doesn't have a release date,
it doesn't. So that's
and
probably why it
that's
wasn't in the Xbox showcase, which we'll get
and
to in a second.
honestly, I like companies doing that more often. Not to say like there's like if you're going to be able to meet that release date and saying okay we're releasing it this time, it's I feel like it's a lot better to like hold your cards close to your chest as a developer and just be like hey this is where we're at with it and and whenever someone a journalist will ask you oh when do you think you're going to release it fairly soon you know just just leave it vague until you're like okay we got it we literally are just we're tweaking the fonts on the menu level
I
of
think that I
polish.
think it's fair, but it's been a game that's been in development hell. It seems like for almost a decade. So hopefully it comes out relative like in a reasonable time. The Outriders expansion, World Slayer.
Yep.
Outriders was okay, but it didn't really catch me that much when I played it through the first time. And I had no real um, desire to go back. So for
Hmm.
people who are fans of Outriders, and to be honest, I don't think that's bad. I want to kind of
Yeah.
zip through these. So nothing. If
Uh,
you have nothing to, yeah, we just go to the next one. It's all good.
Oh, clearly the biggest announcement was Goat Simulator 3.
Goat Simulator 3 was great, and I love that they not only skipped two, but that they also made fun of Dead Island 2, which
Yeah.
still hasn't come. I cannot remember the last like when they announced Dead Island 2. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015, maybe even before that.
Oh
And
yeah.
we still haven't seen hide nor hair of it. I'm just gonna let's pick some other
And to
ones.
that, that's fine. Like I like to the
I'm just worried if
at the
it's
end of the
if,
day. Oh yeah.
I'm just worried about Dead Island 2. Like Dead Island 1 was decent, but
Hmm.
after we saw what happened with Duke Nukem and with Duke Nukem Forever, I'm referring to, and with the Duke Nukem 2001 build out there in the world. Um, honestly, what they made in 2001 was way better than what we got in 2013.
Hmm.
So I just worry when games end up in development hell for that long that we might never see it. I don't know if that company was it Techland or is Techland makes Dying Light. That's right. Never mind. I can't remember everyone. There's so many of them. So Dead Island though, I don't. It was a funny joke. I laughed.
Yep.
Goat Simulator is weird, and
Yep.
to be honest, it's just on brand. That was cool.
Oh,
Um,
completely.
what did you think about Marvel's Midnight Sun?
It
I don't think we
not a
saw a
huge
lot with
fan.
it.
I mean, it's definitely has potential. Um, I liked I like that the game industry hasn't given up on the Marvel universe. I feel like there's a ton of potential there gaming wise.
Oh yeah, there's
Um,
so much potential.
and that's the key. Like at the end of the day, you know, if it's something that I look at and I go, I mean, I might play it if it's handed to me, but I won't
Yeah,
go out and
maybe.
buy it. But still, I know there's people that are definitely super fans about the Marvel universe, and I like seeing people enjoy games and stuff like that, and have fun with it. Um, it Graphically it looks good. Honestly, there's a lot about it that got some hope to it. A lot of big you know IP in that Ghost Rider, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Blade. Holy
Spider-Man and
cow.
Spider-Man's not platform locked,
That is true.
which
That
is
is true.
which sounds like not a big deal, but when Spider-Man's been platform locked for a while with Sony being
Hmm.
kind of a kind of weird about it, then
And we also have an October release date.
I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but it definitely looked interesting. So it'll be. I hope Marvel fans enjoy it. I did just want to talk about it because it's nice that we're seeing Marvel games that aren't the unfortunate combination that is the Avengers. The Avengers was not good, unfortunately. Okay, let's see what is next. The new Cuphead DLC, the
Yeah, new
delicious last
Cuphead.
course. Cuphead is. I still haven't beat Cuphead. I haven't tried, to be fair. but I still haven't beat it, so
Yeah.
I don't have much to add to that. I wouldn't say it's like a super hard game, but it's pattern recognition. You just have to
Hmm.
learn it and get it in your blood. Honestly, cool. What did you think of the new Honkai Star Rail, the new Hoyo MiHoYo game?
Which
That
one?
was the strategy RPG. Honkai Star Rail. Didn't look at that one? Or you just not? Nope. Nope, didn't see it. I thought that one looked interesting. I think they just showed
Uh,
cinematic. If I'm looking through it quick, I just
you
put the
said
trailer up
Star
here.
Rail?
Yes, Honkai Star Rail.
Oh.
I was just curious. It's probably going to be free to play because it's MiHoYo.
Hmm. Well, it's by the Genshin Impact studio.
Yeah, MiHoYo.
Um, Definitely, I like the. I honestly like seeing more of these types of games. Um, they're not, as far as gaming goes, they're not a huge, in my opinion, replay for me. But if you're definitely a fan of that art and that type of story, definitely a go for. Because it
I'm
really
just wondering
does
if it's
look
going to be
nice.
like Genshin and they're going to release the story in piecemeal, which is kind of why I stopped playing Genshin because I wanted to continue with the story and reach the end at the very beginning, and I was like, but I want to keep going. I want to finish the story, like,
Mm,
and that I'd kind of held the game back from for me enjoying it, and I
yeah.
if that's how they're going to do Honkai Star Rail, maybe I'll wait a bit. I'm not sure if I want to just like jump in on it. It's a strategy RPG, but there's also was that the shooter one? Is Zenless Zone Zero? Is that the shooter one they did?
Endless Sun Zero. I
I know
That's
I
the
know they have a shooter one
they
coming.
call it the urban action RPG. Uh,
Yes,
that one
yes.
that one looks interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the other one. I thought Star Rail was this one, and then I looked at it and I was like, nope, Star Rail's the RPG. Uh, yeah, Zenless Zone Zero.
that one I'm really looking forward to. Just mainly a big part of it is like that art style and the way the action goes through. It really looks good because a lot of time games that do the action like this, they tend to go they pour on extra special effects and it gets overwhelming to how much is
Yeah.
just going on the screen. And I think they toned it back a little bit and it looks really nice.
We just talk about the biggest game that got talked about and has a release date now, and that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Six playable characters, 6-player multiplayer, and Casey Jones is playable. You bet your
Mhm.
ass I'm playing Casey Jones. Like Shredder, Casey Jones, and April O'Neil are playable. Please. Really excited for that one.
Yeah, it looks good. It's one of those that's kind of fun to see.
Yes,
That kind of style.
it's on Game Pass,
You know,
which means we go play it. Or we can.
another
I I
another
need to
Game
see
Pass.
Game Pass, man. It's just like it's real valuable. It's so good. It's just like, oh man, you need to play Teenage Mutant. You play a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. 10-year-old me would be like losing their crap over
Oh yeah.
Shredder's Revenge for sure. Okay, we're gonna go over a couple other things, and I'm gonna leave my big bugbear with the big bugbears for the very end when we finish up with the Summer Game Fest here. Uh, Capcom Arcade Stadium? No, not the one. They showed One Piece. One Piece is okay. Nightingale. Gotham Knights. Yay, nay.
Eh, I will have to admit a certain dislike of Batman as an intellectual property.
Well,
I
it's
know I'm
Batman's
committing
dead though.
sacrilege here.
I like Batman, but I feel like a lot of interpretations of Batman lately have been not great.
Yeah, again, it's one of those that's if you enjoy the Batman um, franchise, definitely, I would be excited about this. I'm not, mostly because I'm just like, the thing is they do a lot of good Batman games. I would admit, like objectively, you look at a lot of the different
Batman
Batman
has a
games
lot,
over the year.
like even like back in the day with like the Sunsoft NES game, which is arguably
Hmm.
one of the best Batman games of the era. Like even the 16-bit Batman games aren't as good as the first Sunsoft NES
Hmm.
game. So it you are right where Batman has probably had the most good games of any DC comic book hero,
Oh
unlike
yeah.
Superman.
Well, again, like as much as I loved Superman as a kid, Superman is a superhero is one of those that you can't you don't have any of the struggle. I mean,
Yeah,
you're an alien god. like,
basically. Oh,
like
oh,
I
oh. Sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna like I noticed one more game I want to talk about before I talk about the stupid thing that happened at Summer Game Fest and why. But yeah, Gotham Knights also has that it's games as a service kind of thing. I think what they're going for, and
Hmm.
I'm like, no, I'm just games as a service can be good, but I only have so much time in a week. So, and even right now, we're not even playing Overwatch, which is like kind of our service game of choice most of the time.
Hmm.
And that got announcements later, so we'll get into that when we get to it. But there's
Yeah.
other cool announcements that happened I want to talk about with you. Uh, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. Oh
Mm,
baby, give it to me. It looks so cool. You get to be
it.
like crazy miscreants of the 40k universe, try and save the world.
Yup.
Well, the universe. Uh, Vermintide, but in space. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
and it
in.
looks clean too. Like
Oh yeah, it looks really good.
it, it's
It's
definitely one of the ones that like graphically you can look at it and you go, wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, it's not the clearest out there, but you'd be hard pressed to find too many that are further
yeah.
or
I honestly
better.
think I think it was one of the better 40k games that we actually saw some gameplay for in engine stuff at least.
Hmm.
Okay, that one, and then I want to talk about the bad parts of Summer Game Fest, which starts with Soul Hackers 2. I think I've said this a couple times already. This is the most anticipated game of the year, and it got a 50-second trailer that showed
No.
nothing. It's like, oh, there's English voice acting, which I personally don't care about, which is fine. But 10 seconds of it was her talking.
Yeah, it's
Like
well,
you
I mean,
could,
it's one of those things where it's like you can be excited about the intellectual property, but also be cautious about stuff. Like, I mean, we have gameplay now of Starfield, but at the same time, until now,
we'll get there.
there was no reason to be excited about something because you don't see anything.
We've
You're like,
seen
okay, show me
gameplay though
what
for
you.
Soul Hackers 2. We've seen
Hmm.
the combat, we've seen the characters, we've seen them interact, at least in the Japanese with the Japanese voice acting. So this would
Hmm.
have been a perfect time to either have Ringo, that's the main character of Soul Hackers 2, come out and introduce herself in English and talk about because that's what they did in Japanese. They had her come out and she talked to people, introduced herself, uh, told them
Hmm.
bits about her life and what kind of world she lives in. But instead of that, we get a piece of one of the Japanese trailers with some English dub on it.
Yep.
10 seconds of English dub. And then, and then we get to the end of the Keeley show, the Summer Games Fest, and Neil Druckmann comes out on stage and uh from Naughty Dog. Honestly, I've never been much of a fan of Neil Druckmann. I find him to be a little too up his own butt, if you know what I mean. And he announces that The Last of Us multiplayer is now going to be its own game and as big as Naughty Dog's other games because Last of Us 2 was supposed to have multiplayer, but it never launched with it. And that was in 2020, I want to say. That game came out.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe so.
So 2 years later, they're like, "Yeah, oh, we were making it, but now it's bigger in scope." And then they spent, I want to say it was like 20 minutes talking about The Last of Us Remastered. Like, I might be wrong. It was just too long. It was just people talking on stage, so a bit of trailer. They brought out the voice actors. It would have been Nolan North, I think, or is it someone else? I
Hmm.
can't remember who was.
I believe so. Wait.
I was it Nolan? I don't remember. Anyway, they brought the actors out on stage, or was it for the show? Because they also mentioned the show that's coming.
Well, they're doing the show. They're doing the remaster, and they're doing a multiplayer. So
It's
I
a
mean,
it's a remaster of a what, 9-year-old game. No, wait, the first one 2013. Yeah, nine. That already had a really decent PS4 version. Granted, it wasn't as pretty as The Last of Us 2, but I kind of feel like that's wasted resources, especially since they're selling it for full price. But if you want to buy The Last of Us Remastered, I'm not going to judge you for it. The first game was good, and they also announced the PC version of that, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to have a PC version later, which makes sense.
Well, I mean, I would say if you haven't played it, go
Yeah,
ahead and buy
it's
the remastered
yeah,
because
oh yeah, for sure. But for someone like me that's already played it, I played the PS3 version actually many moons ago, and enjoyed it. It was good. I liked the storytelling. It had some bad points, but for the most part, it was pretty good. I'm still mad at Keeley for that 50-second Soul Hackers 2 trailer. I don't know if to blame Atlas or Keeley. Come on, Keeley. How could you do it to a fellow Canadian? I don't care if you don't like JRPGs. Okay, what
well,
was the next showcase?
mhm.
Okay, if you have anything to add on it, just go ahead while I'm looking up stuff.
I mean, I would say I feel like The Last of Us and Neil Druckmann, they had a blockbuster with The Last of Us, the original, and it filled Neil Druckmann with a sense of self-importance that few humans should have. Because I mean, you look at Last of Us 2, and you're in all at a very minimum,
It
very
was divisive.
polarizing story.
Yeah, it was very polarizing. The
Like,
fan base is very divisive on it. There's people who swear it's like the best game ever, and there's a lot of people who don't like it. I fall into the I don't like it camp because it feels like it's trying too hard to be deep. And
well,
I
when
think
I
the
say like
biggest
he's filled with self-importance, like you when you leading up to The Last of Us 2 being released, Neil Druckmann was talking a big game about subverting expectations,
and then the whole
and
game
and
got
and and,
leaked.
and then talking about it like obviously he is a master of doing this, and so it's just like, no, just tell us about the storyline. Tell us what path you went into developing this. This is, you know, these
I,
characters mean something to people. You know,
yeah,
you can you these characters people form an emotional connection with. That's the goal of a storyteller.
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure. And The
we
Last of
can,
Us nailed it. And I don't want, since
oh
there's a
yeah,
remaster of it coming, I do not want to spoil it. I don't for
but
people because there's probably people out there who haven't played it, and that's cool. I honestly recommend you check it out
yeah,
because
but
it was a good time.
it's one of those things. Like I didn't play through The Last of Us 2. I watched the gameplay of it all the way through, and it, it was okay ish. There's
The
parts of it that
gameplay was
I'm like,
superior, like the actual gameplay,
oh yeah,
superior.
certainly. They definitely. I did notice a lot of improvements in that. The action sequences were really good too.
Yeah,
The parts of it that were like lackluster was kind of like the reasoning for the story, like the motivations and of the characters in the story. It just
they almost should have just done different characters and made it all about different characters instead of using characters we knew, or have the characters we knew show up later or
well,
something.
well,
It's
I mean, a story that comes to mind is the story of how Conan the Barbarian was written, and the author for Conan the Barbarian is like, Conan was behind me and telling me his story, and he wrote down what he was told. Now that sounds like a crazy story, and it probably is. It's probably anecdotal, uh, but the big part of it is like listening to what your characters would do. Like what would they legitimately do? I don't care about subverting expectations. That's at the end of the day a total crock of crap.
yeah,
You know,
because anything could happen in a story. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, what do you expect to happen? I don't know.
build the world. If you want to subvert expectations, include different factions and make new things like that.
That,
But
for sure.
to tell the story, go what was this character going to do? You know, and it's very much a practice of empathy, because it's a serious matter of putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yep.
And so
Because you want to make reasons for hat. Yeah. I don't want to get too close to it. The Last of Us really nails that and how human the characters were.
oh yeah,
And before I spoil it and ruin it for someone, I'm gonna suggest we move on. What do you want to do
yeah.
next? You want to do PC game show or Xbox one?
Let's hit up the. Let's see where we're at here. That's the
I think the PC
Xbox.
one there's less stuff that we actually care about.
Let's hit up the PC game show real quick. Get
Okay.
it out of the way. There was some
Yeah.
there was some good announcements here that I liked. Honestly, I really am looking forward to the Solstice game.
Solstice.
That one
Yeah.
looks really good.
Looks weird.
It does look weird,
And it
but
looked like, and there was clearly a Rick and Morty's reference in it, which is weird because there was another game we
oh,
saw with Rick and Morty all over it. So
show me
I
what you
don't know.
got.
Solstice, it's coming out soon. It looks interesting. I'm on
Yeah,
the fence about it. I want to see like gameplay, and not
yeah,
pre-rendered
yeah.
trailer looking
I mean,
gameplay.
for me, it's really going to boil down to what's the storyline. Like the action sequence, they 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 can either flow with the story or take away from the story. I.e., if the gameplay sucks, it's going to make trying to follow the story difficult because you don't want to play the game. You just want to listen to the story. But I do want to see kind of. I like the aspect of having, there's this the monster within type storyline. I'm a sucker for that kind of story, and so that looks interesting. And then I believe what was the one that was the Rick and Morty one, or was that on
That's in the
Xbox?
Xbox showcase.
Okay, never mind.
We'll get to that one.
Another one, a whole ass blast from the past. System Shock.
Oh yeah, the System Shock remake that
Yo,
Night Dive's doing.
and
Yeah,
and
they're
I
actually making it into a
liked.
real game. So
I like that combination between like respecting like the origin of it and kind of giving that
giving it a
nod of
new,
the head to it, while also having updated graphics and being a little bit
yeah,
more 21st century.
it because a lot of people who have played System Shock even back in the day said it played more like an operating system than a game, and I never could get through very far of it. So this time I'll actually get to play the whole thing. I've never actually played System Shock, but I've heard good things and would
Hmm.
like to play it, but it's been kind of, I don't want to say inaccessible because you can play it, but it's just been not ideal. I think that's the best way to say
Hmm.
it. Uh,
Uh,
I'm gonna pull one out here. So one of my favorite games is getting an expansion, and that's a Medieval, the Black Labyrinth. Is that a sequel? Is that a, was it did they say it was a expansion or was it just its own game?
um,
A Medieval is a boomer shooter. Honestly, the game looks dated, but when you actually play it, you don't notice how, because it's got like weird polygon. They added ray tracing into it too. It's a kind of gorgeous game actually.
oh yeah.
A medieval with a it definitely has a style though. Um,
Hmm.
but a medieval is a fantastic game from that's a New Blood one, is it not? We love New Blood.
I believe so.
New Blood is fantastic. Um, I believe is can you still type in waste money? Does it still work? It does. Waste money still works. You can get to move to New Blood. Uh, they have so many. I want to say so many meme domains, but that's besides the point. More medieval, give it to me. It's great. They also had Gloomwood. Did we get a release date for Gloomwood?
Bloomwood, I don't.
Gloomwood's another New Blood game. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Let me
You talked about a
see
boomer
here.
shooter, so I had to talk about more boomer shooters.
Gloomwood.
Did we get a release date for Gloomwood?
Planned
Which,
release date soon trademarked.
yeah, that sounds like our man at New Blood. Okay. Gloomwood. What else we got? Them's Fighting Herds version 3.0. Yeah, it makes sense. That's the My Little Pony dating, not dating sim, the My Little Pony fighting game.
Hmm.
That was funny, but it's not actually. It was called Fighting is Magic originally, but Hasbro was like, you can't do that. Like maybe little kids will find it, and it actually has the blessing of the creator of the new My Little Pony. She might actually be involved with it, so it's a thing that exists and it's cool. I always thought that was fun. Was there another New Blood game? I thought I saw one. Hold on. New Blood makes weird games. I don't remember. And the last one I want to point at before I throw it back to you is Demon School. It's Persona, but not Persona, which we'll get to later.
Cool. Let's see here.
It
Yeah.
was weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
one.
interesting. I don't
It.
know if I'm actually gonna want to play it because I don't. It's not. It's inspired by, right? It's not. It's not. I don't want to be like people can't make schools.
Uh,
This one Japanese developed because I'm gonna be honest. I have a hard time playing anything that's supposed to take place in Japan without it having Japanese voice acting. And I know it probably sounds really weird, but it's turn-based strategy. It's funny. These
I
guys
mean
seem to be.
the old it's reminiscent graphically of old isometric games.
Yeah,
And really well done at that.
yeah, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I don't know. It's I might be I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but Demon School was the last one I wanted to point out on this list. Did you have any other ones you wanted to point to
Let's
before we go
see.
to the big
So
meat
other
potatoes?
than that, there is of course where was it? The altars.
Oh, you mean
Where
I cloned myself so I can make my own fraternity in space because I'm all by myself here?
what do you do when you don't have friends and you crash land on a desert planet? You make your own
You
friends. You
clone
did.
yourself and make your own fraternity and then find a
Um,
goat.
it
Tell me it
honestly
doesn't look like a fraternity. There's a goat.
it does, but there's an aspect of it that intrigues me a little bit, where there's the cloning aspect, of course, but it's you clone yourself and I'm assuming modify that clone
Yeah,
to
it seems like you
fit
adjust
what you
their
need done.
yeah. But I don't know what you actually do in the game, how you play it, or anything. We
Oh,
just saw a
definitely not.
trailer of a dude getting up and seeing a dead body of himself
Seeing
on the
his high
table, and
version,
there was a
his
bunch of him.
his Lebowski version.
Yeah, there's like the nerdy one. There's the one with glass. There's the one with glasses. The one with, like the sandwich. Yeah, man, what's up?
I'm gonna check his vibes. Good vibes. Let's see. There was that one that looks interesting. Whether or not it turns out to be interesting, it's another story.
That's true.
Um,
Oh, there was more new blood stuff. Fallen Aces, Dusk, HD. Dusk gets an HD update. Fallen Aces, I was not. I tried the demo for. I couldn't do it. Faith gets a new game though. Have you seen Faith?
no, I haven't.
It looks like
Faith.
an Atari game, and it is actually super spooky. Or it is. If you've seen it,
Oh, oh, I've seen that played.
yeah, Faith is yeah, it's quite the game. It
That
is.
one's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
it's the
one looks
last one.
cool.
I love the way he did the graphics. He takes like pictures of himself and he draws over it. I really love Faith is super interesting. Sorry, I gotta get in there on that. They have like a New Blood corner here.
I also
New Blood
have
makes
a
awesome
Deceit
games.
Incorporated.
Deceit Incorporated? Or
A spy thriller. Basically, you roam a colorful building. Sometimes it looks like kind of a battle royale. I'm not sure. I again, you really kind of just see gameplay to kind of tease you and hype up the game. So we're not at this point. I don't think I'm really sure what's going on with it, but it does. It looks at you're trying to do different spy tricks and espionage without getting caught, obviously. And so it looks interesting. Definitely
uh
colorful, but
colorful games are cool. Do you want to get into meat and potatoes time?
oh, it's the time. It is the time for
Okay, we gotta talk about the
Xbox.
Xbox showcase because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people were saying that it was kind of middle of the road or whatever. The fact that they're like these games will be playable within the next 12 months
Yeah.
is probably the biggest and best best deal about this. And they opened with, unless my stream started different, Redfall. Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
we finally
Red,
got to see gameplay.
and Redfall looks good.
It does. It looks very good, and it looks like a nice combination of different play styles amongst the
Yep.
different characters. It looks clean.
Yep.
Definitely an aspect of team play to it. It's not just like, you carry your whole team. There's the sniper. There's, the person who's doing the arcane stuff.
The one with the psychon. There's the. I like the different weapons that they had. The psionicist. I want to say psionicist. I don't know if that's what they called it or not, but she's
The
the one who's
girl with
narrating it.
college debt. So
College
it looks,
debt off the coast of Massachusetts. Honestly, it looks like it is an interesting combination of something like Back for Blood, but with a lot of
vampires.
It was vampires, but well, the next game I was gonna play also has vampires in it, but the combination of Dishonored, because you have characters that seem to have Dishonored type abilities, so it is interesting. I like that there was an aspect of teamwork where you just kill if all of you guys shot the guards at the same time. How that'll actually work out is completely different. I really want to know, because the thing is, let's be honest, Snarky, we safe scummed our way through Dishonored. We don't need to lie. I'm sure there's lots of people who safe scum their way through Dishonored. So it's going to be interesting playing a game where it's online with other people. There is a solo way to play it, apparently, but the online kind of interests me because it's got co-op. I want to know how that works.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, there's more here than what we had before, and that's at the end of the day, like, really, that's what we want out of a showcase. We want a showcase to be like, hey, here's some more information.
Here's more of what we've seen. There were some that were not a lot of more, but I kind of don't blame them. But Redfall was, honestly, I think it set that they showed it off first, and it was like a high point for me. Like, it was really high point, and then it kind of tapered off, and I was kind of like, and then it came back near the end for me. But I would have put Redfall maybe a little. Yeah. Okay.
And so some of that. So like, you got Hollow Knight.
This is Silksong though. This is the DLC. Hollow Knight is a very cool game, and people love it. It's an indie darling. People have been waiting for Silksong for years at this point. Still no release date, but it says it's supposed to be out this year, or is it next year?
It should be.
It doesn't. I don't remember if he said or not. It was going to be the next 12 months, so it has to be by this time, by June next year. So there you go.
Nope.
Go
ahead.
I tried Hollow Knight, and honestly, it's not my kind of thing. Like, I don't hate hard platformers, or hard slow side scrollers. I just couldn't really get into it, but I understand why people love it, and they'll be happy that Silksong's
announcements
finally come. Riot Games.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I did not expect this at all. And they're like, and we were talking about it with other people just before we got on here. Unlocking like every League of Legends character.
All champions unlocked.
I have never played League of Legends ever in my life, but I know that like a new character is usually about $10 US, give or take. And it's like, you get all the operatives in Valorant. How much do they cost to pop? I don't know. But
yeah. Riot just went, here's our whole game, the whole thing.
Here's everything we have. Because I thought they were going to talk about their fighting game that was coming. Because that's their next project, right? Was a fighting game and then something else after it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just Game Pass perks. Um, I don't know if Microsoft's just trying to. I don't want to. I don't want to say that it sounds like I'm trying to be mean, but I feel like they're trying to get more into esports type games
Um,
and get them on their platform.
well, see, the thing is, their goal of Microsoft is mainly to build Game Pass into this very huge thing with a ton of value, because then that is regularly that's it. The problem with the game development as a business model is you build this game, you're incurring cost and cost and cost over the years,
Yeah,
and then you release the game and that's your payday. And so the game comes out, it's a viral hit, it just knocks it out of the park, you make millions of dollars and you're good. Or this game that you think is going to be this big hit falls flat on its face, in which case then you're going back to ramen, and that's what you're eating for the next 2 years while you're trying to build the next game.
yeah.
What Microsoft is trying to do is trying to even that out. So they developed this Game Pass. The exchange and the agreement, the polite gentlemanly agreement is, here's all these games that you will probably want to play. You pay us 14, 15 bucks
Yeah.
and you get to play them.
I have
Now,
another idea, but what's going on here? What region would you say is Riot's games the most popular? Like the absolute most popular, because it says here for PC and mobile on this trailer I'm looking at for it.
oh, you mean like whether it's mobile
Korea
or
and China. This is the Asia region. They're going like this deal here says they're trying to make Game Pass appealing to the Asian region. And I honestly think this is like 60%, not even 60%. 60, yeah, I know what I'm going with it. 60% why they're all in on Activision Blizzard. And we'll get back to that in a second. But there was a bunch of stuff that they announced here. What was that? Where's that other game? It's not here. The Is this not the full list? Because you're missing the other game.
well, it could be a
Naraka, Blade Point.
multiple.
Yeah.
It could be a multitude of reasons. I mean, think about it. Like League of Legends does definitely have an esport aspect
Oh,
to it. So you watch somebody, play League of Legends and they play some new character. Well, before then you'd have to download League of Legends, which okay, League of Legends is free. But then if you wanted to play that character, you had to pay to unlock it.
we're still not 100% sure how this is going to work because it was fall, I think this is, when this comes out. But
But with Game
it,
Pass, you see that character being played and you're like, wait, I can go and pay Microsoft money and I could play that exact character in a few minutes.
yeah, but that's what I mean. There was other games like that. Like I said, the Naraka, Blade Point, which is
Mhm.
a PC only game, is coming to console. Uh, these are not in order because I guess someone did it. But
We also got
well, the
another
next
one
one,
that we're kind of like iffy on. I believe was High on Life, where
that's the
it's
Rick and Morty. It's Rick and Morty. It's
it's
Morty.
Rick and
The
Morty,
gun was literally Morty. Oh,
and then
jeez, man, you gotta help me save my friends.
yo, I mean it looks interesting.
The knife, I don't. I like honestly, I
The
don't know if I
knife's my
can
favorite
handle the
character.
stab. Let me stab. More stab. Oh my god, let me stab. Oh, it's like, oh my god, what is this?
it,
Um,
it depends on how hard they lean on that. If they lean on it hard, it'll get
if
old
it's
quick. If it's
if
something
they're
that they're
talking
kind of like,
all the time, then
yeah,
it's a problem. Forza Motorsport.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Not for me, but man, are they like, check it out. This is what the Series X can do.
Absolutely stunningly gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I
Like
was like, they got real.
ridiculous.
I was because they stopped it, right? They're showing the ray tracing and all that, and they stopped the camera. They're showing like the cars there and the cars reflecting into other cars. And I was looking for the artifacts, and honestly, it was. I could tell it was like it was the reflection was lower resolution than the actual thing, but it wasn't that low. That low. Like usually, if it's really low, you get the stair stepping kind of
Mhm.
effect on it. I
Yep.
couldn't tell on the stream, which could be compression or whatever, but
Mhm.
it's gonna be nice to see the consoles flex its muscles.
Oh yeah.
They spent a lot of time talking about it, but to be honest, Forza is one of those games that is motorsport in particular is one of the big sellers.
Forza's always been kind of like half racing game, half tech demo.
Well, yeah, but it's also a pretty important racing sim because they were talking about how much. I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like, oh, we're doing all the things you want, like tire degradation, different tire compounds, and I'm like,
yep. Oh,
and like
yeah. I'm
when the
not
time of
saying
day
that.
changes, that your grip on the road changes, and I'm like, there's
Yeah, I'm
someone
not
right
saying
now
that to
who is
take
just like
away from the
all over the
gameplay.
place, just excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that to take away from the gameplay. It's more just kind of like a nod of the head, like I see what you did there. Like they
Oh
just
yeah,
go, okay, we're
it's.
gonna make this, we're gonna push the machine.
I mean, the fact that they have a simulation that does tire compound and
Hmm.
they obviously this is a big seller for them, and this is big points that people wanted these things in the game, or they wouldn't have done it. So Forza Motorsport, not for us, but damn,
Hmm.
looking good.
See some
If this is in
others.
order, then the next one was Overwatch 2, right?
Yo,
I
well,
didn't expect to
I mean,
see
we
it.
can go to next. that's
I did not expect to see Overwatch 2 here at all.
that's another
And we
one
go,
that wasn't expected, definitely.
yeah, because
And not
they already
only,
announced the event on the 16th,
mhm,
and Microsoft doesn't own Activision Blizzard yet, so it was kind of weird. It kind of makes sense, and this is why I feel like this was trying to appeal to that more like esportsy Korean player base because they're
mhm.
kind of don't have much of a presence in Korea. But we got a new hero, the Junker Queen. They started showing a bit of the cinematic. They cut it off, say coming soon. I'm gonna assume we're gonna see that on the 16th.
Yeah, that's
I,
probably where we're going to
I
see
think
a
that's
bigger
safe, and we're gonna
trailer
see
for
that
it.
Fox healer character.
I hope they release support. They need more support than tanks.
Well, Junker Queen is a tank rather.
Yep, and it looks
Uh,
pretty awesome too. Uh, that I'm liking it.
yeah, I'm very interested. I thought I was worried for a minute when I saw her kit. I'm like, oh no, she's DPS. Oh
And then
no, she's DPS. And I was like, no, she's a
another big
tank. And I'm
announcement
like,
from Overwatch was
it's
Overwatch
free.
2 is going to be free to play.
Yeah, there was a huge blog post on that, which we're not going to get into because any content creator you want, and the Moon's probably talked about it, who's a big Overwatch fan. But honestly, seeing Overwatch 2 at the Xbox Bethesda showcase was surprising.
Hmm.
And it kind of set expectations a little later when they showed off Diablo 4. And I realized it was Diablo 4 very quickly because they had the Necromancer bit. He was talking about being shunned and all that. Diablo 4 also looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be one of those games that I play super long. Usually it's like something I pick up with friends or whatever, but it's going to have cross progression. I believe they said it's full crossplay, cross progression, and some other stuff. But that's fine.
What else we got here? Fallout
The
76 has the pit,
uh, Fallout
which I'm like,
76 is uh Fallout 76 burned both of us, I think, and we're just like done with it. It had
eh. Well,
its
Fallout
first iteration
76 is
was
a problem because they are struggling keep to keep their user base going. They are
apparently, I don't
compared
know.
to the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, compared to the Elder Scrolls Online and even Sea of Thieves.
Hmm.
Like it of the under the Xbox banner big service games. Like even Grounded I think does better than
Oh, heavens,
Fallout
yes.
76, but I don't want to hate on Fallout 76 because it's Fallout 76 because it was a joke and it's better now and but it's still not what it needs to be. Um, but the new thing is they're going to the pit, which was Pittsburgh before the bombs fell,
Yep.
and it looks like the pit, all right. I was kind of hoping they would announce something else for the anniversary of Fallout, but we get the pit. Uh, Arc
Yeah.
2 family.
Or the fast and the cold blooded.
I can't wait to see the mods of stupid things on it.
Yeah. So we get to see Vin Diesel riding a T-Rex. I'm assuming
Yeah,
it's a T-Rex, and he
I don't
grunts
know. It's
in very
Arc.
typical Vin Diesel fashion. Um,
Apparently, there's an animated series for Arc coming with Vin Diesel. Maybe I'll just watch that.
we got the another trailer for Scorn.
Yeah, there was lots of scorn. Um, I'm still on the fence about if I'll be able to play it. It might be just too gory, and I'm just like, nah, I think I'm good. And and
Again, the
that's
thing that's gonna get me is the sound effects from messing with your gun. It's just like, ugh.
yeah, that is gonna be crazy. There was a new Obsidian game to Pentiment that honestly, I usually like Obsidian stuff, but Pentiment just I don't know. I didn't click with me. It has that.
Yeah. Initially, that knee-jerk reaction to the artwork is kind of like, it's all right. I'd like to see more of like how it's played. I mean, again, it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass, so you can.
There were very few games here that weren't on Game Pass. Diablo 4 was actually one of them.
Mhm.
I think almost everything else was. The Minecraft RTS? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
an RTS. Minecraft Legends.
Yep. I
Um,
mean, it
cool. Like
it
it,
looks
we
good.
saw gameplay. It looks like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Minecraft's a big deal. I'm glad that they're not just sticking to just regular Minecraft. They did the Diablo style one already with dungeons, and now we have Minecraft Legends. So it's nice to see that they're putting some variety in that for other people.
I'm looking forward to Urban Shadow Legacy. That one looks good. The isometric ninja game.
I
Um,
don't I don't under that game looks like another game. And I cannot find much information on the developers at this time, but yeah, that was kind of cool. They also showed off Flintlock,
yes.
Siege of Dawn, which is about trying to kill gods after you've developed black powder, which is
Yep.
kind of cool.
It,
Uh,
it
we
it looks really well done. I like the Fox Companion.
Fox Companion is adorable and probably the reason that people are gonna pick up the game in the first place. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
Uh, they showed off more Dusk Falls as Dusk Falls, and we were talking about it before we started. It was
Eh,
I
I stand by what I said. It's still it very much looks like someone just got a hold of some video editing software and they applied a filter to everything, and so they go, here, I made something amazing. Um, Graphically, it feels weird to me. Um, the
it's a,
storyline, what's going on, whether that flows and makes it feel playable, that's to be determined. But I mean, just that it's definitely a game. If it succeeds, it's a game that does not show well. I.e., you look at a lot of different trailers, they go for flashy or they go to kind of like exemplify some aspect of it. And honestly, the trailer didn't really feel exciting.
I'm not
I,
sure
I
what they were trying to sell on it. Like it was, from my understanding, it's like two families collide, and one's like a one's like a family that's running from the law, trying to
mhm.
do one more heist, and they end up in is it Tucson or Two Rock, Arizona, or something. They end up in this weird
Somewhere in
part.
Arizona.
Yeah, it was somewhere in Arizona, and I think it was Two Rock. They said it's just like a little hole in the wall. It's like a motel, and the one family breaks down, and the other family's trying to get a big score, and their paths collide, and it's like there's all these branching paths, and then at the very end, they're like play it up to 8-player multiplayer.
Not sure
How?
how that's going to happen, but again, it's one
What?
of those things that'll be definitely interesting to see. And a big plus, again, I hate to be like Microsoft's little trumpeter, but definitely a good value viewpoint of Game Pass, because you can look at this and you can go, well, I'm not sure about it,
Well, I don't know. What's
play
it gonna
it, and
cost?
then go, oh
20
wow,
bucks?
yeah, this is great. Or if you play, if you pay for it, you the thing with Game Pass is you can try out games a lot. You're more motivated to try out games because it's a matter of like, well, I already spent the money for Game Pass. It's not like downloading this game is going to cost me more.
Yeah.
Whereas if you wanted to go and buy it, you have to have a reason to buy it. You have to be excited about the game. Like, us looking at it, we're like, huh? We
Yeah.
probably wouldn't pay $30 for the game or
To be
60
fair, I'm
bucks
probably
even.
not gonna spend $60 to do the play Diablo 4. Probably gonna wait on that because it'll probably eventually come to Game Pass. I've heard it's good from people that I know.
Um,
I leave it at that. I don't want to. I don't want to get anyone in
yeah,
trouble. I've said before that I have friends who have had play stuff and get to do stuff, but they said
um,
it was good for what they played.
just gonna
Um,
touch quickly on Cocoon. It looks good. It's
what was with the pinecone vagina?
you endeavor to make everyone see that.
Like you watch the trailer, and it's like light comes down, the pinecone thing opens, and the character pops out. And it was like it's a pinecone vagina. What?
you know,
I was like
I
sitting there,
mean,
I'm like, what is this?
it,
Like,
it looks interesting. It's a puzzle game. I mean, it's a beautifully done puzzle game.
yeah, it
Definitely.
definitely has. It almost feels like a tech demo. Like, check out the
Yeah.
seamless loading,
Yep.
the way it was done. But it's also on Xbox One. I didn't catch which one of these were next gen only. I'm gonna assume that anyone that's super graphically intensive is probably next gen only. Like Forza Motorsport is definitely next gen only. I don't know if Scorn was, but I don't know if I'd want to play that on an Xbox One anyway. Oh, Grounded finally got released.
Yep.
It gets a release in September. think it
Yes,
was
September.
September. Yeah. Talked about Flintlock. There was Lightyear Frontier, which looked like some sort of I'm running away from my bad life, Swords to Plowshares kind of deal. I've repurposed this mech to be a farming equipment. Seems to have co-op, and there's some sort of mystery to unravel, survival type game.
Oh, Frontier, Lightyear
Yeah,
Frontier.
Lightyear Frontier.
That one looks interesting. I mean,
Not for me, but
it looks like Farming Simulator meets No Man's Sky.
okay. Did I miss any other ones? They've got some trailers for stuff and other things on this list. I should have just
We
gone to the
got
Xbox
the last
blog,
case of Benedict Fox.
which isn't actually on this list here, and I don't know who missed that game because that game looked dope.
Yes,
It
very much.
okay. I don't know if it's supposed to be English countryside or if it was supposed to be in like 1920s US. I kind of got like the American 1920s, 1930s era, with the round cars and the windy paths. It definitely felt like it was almost a noir, but not really. But the
Yeah,
music kind of set that too. And then it's like this crazy cool platformer. I was like, yeah, this game's got style. If
it looks
nothing
really
else,
good.
it has style. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Um, what was the other one? Ravenlock. That was the Through the Looking Glass, Alice in
Yep.
Wonderland kind of one. Very, very interesting. I was not super sold on it, looking at it at first.
Hmm.
Watching the trailer again, it's grown on me a little bit, but I think that art style and the like pixely sort of things doesn't look good on YouTube compression.
Yeah.
So maybe when I have it in front of me on a console or something, it'll be much better.
Oh yeah. But it definitely it
Um,
looks interesting. Definitely.
yeah. Again,
Um, Wolong, Fallen Destiny,
oh
Dynasty.
baby, Wo Long. Wo Long was just okay.
My
Wo
boy.
Long. Okay, okay, okay. So you've never played Neo ever? Have you played any Team Ninja game?
Let me
Ninja
think here.
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden I have played.
Well, so yeah, Team Ninja is part of Koei Tecmo, and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is dark fantasy, uh, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. At the very end, they show my boy Lubu. Lubu. Lubu is the best. Don't anyone ever tell you otherwise. It's all about Lubu. And there's like crazy monsters. You gotta fight things, and I'm like, I'm in. This is an Xbox exclusive.
It
There's a console
didn't.
exclusive at least. I think they said like this was maybe it was, but yeah, this is one of their continued push for more Japanese games on the console. And
Xbox,
then
PC, and cloud. Yep.
and then Hideo came out, right?
Yep. In very
Sorry,
on
he
brand
did.
fashion.
Hideo Kojima was said he was working on a game he always wanted to make, and honestly,
He's definitely the developer that he goes, I want to make this game, and you go, okay.
and Microsoft's got the pockets that they'll just spend it because the
Yeah.
publicity from it is probably good enough for it.
Well, I mean, like I'll be honest, like the Death Stranding is like Papa John's delivery simulator in a post-apocalyptic world, but still, it was a good game, high
Yeah,
quality
it definitely
production
had
value. It is
it had a lot going
very
for it,
good.
so I'm not gonna deny it. And then they dropped the
Mhm.
bombshell. They dropped the bombshell. They're like, "Hey guys, our partners at Atlas are bringing their beloved games," and it's like, "No, you're not doing this to me." They dropped Persona 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
Now, I know some people are gonna be like, this is bombshell. Atlas has been like actively skipping Xbox for quite a while. I think the last game we got, because Persona 4 Arena, hold on, I actually have it. I have the 360 version of Persona 4 Arena. They re-released it as Persona 4 Arena Ultra Max, I want to say, or something like that.
Hmm.
And as a game that was actually on the 360, the Xbox One version didn't happen. Switch got a version, and other things happened, but there
Yep.
was no Xbox version. We didn't get Catherine. Xbox didn't get Catherine Full Body, and until Soul Hackers 2 got announced, which is also an Atlas game, and got an Xbox date, it was a long drought of content from Atlas. So,
Definitely.
but this is one of those games because I want to be honest. After the showcase happened, my Twitter exploded. I was getting like people were just bombarding me with messages like it. It was nuts because there are people who are like, Persona's never coming to Xbox. It's never going to happen. One guy was like, I'll sell my nutsack if it happens. Whoops. I
Well,
don't know who
I
wants to
guess
buy that.
somebody's got a nut up.
They do. I just don't know how they're going to, like, honestly, people were losing their minds. And it's kind of still surreal because 3, 4, 3 and 4, well, 3 for sure, isn't, at this time, isn't getting they did not announce a PlayStation or Switch version for any of these games. Well, 5 already was on it, PlayStation 4, but 4 has been on PC before. It was on Persona 4 Golden, got released at the PC Game Awards. I want to say like 2019, 2020-ish, somewhere in there. They just like shadow dropped
Mhm.
it the same day, and it sold like 500,000 copies in a day. And Atlas was like, "Whoa, people want to play our game if we put it on a platform where people play games."
Yo.
So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and all these were PC and Xbox, but no announcements on other platforms at this time. I know a lot of people wanted them. And then they closed out with the big one that everyone wanted to see, Starfield. I'm going to be honest, Starfield had nothing on Persona getting on Xbox for me. It's
um.
like you just dropped the JRPG bombshell, and now it's like, then Todd Howard comes out and is trying to pick up the pieces.
Well, we kind of expected Todd Howard to come out and
Well, they told
talk
us.
about them releasing Skyrim on the you know Samsung refrigerator or something like that, as they've been doing. But they did come out. They're talking about Starfield. Um, Graphically, I'm impressed.
The Creation Engine
I
2 definitely is no slouch. It looks like it has material based rendering and a lot of
yeah.
modern niceties. It's going to be interesting to see how the loading times and things are. If this is
Mhm.
going to be one of those games that you actually have to use a newer GPU or it needs an SSD to run on PC, is going to be super interesting.
Yeah. Um Definitely it looks, what is it, 100 systems and over 1,000 planets. It depends on how well they do it again. Um,
I'm so worried about that.
eh,
What I'm worried
I
about is it's just going to be boring copy pasta planets that are just like, oh look, we're on forest planet number 52, or there's like one capital city here. Like, I'm not
I'm
saying you
not as
couldn't
worried
do.
about that, honestly, because and I think we kind of disagree on this. I think Bethesda. if you boil any company down to what their thing is, what the one thing that they can pull out and go, we do this amazing. That's Worlds. And they've shown the predilection to be detail oriented across the board with everything but bugs and you know storyline. But Worlds, they do amazing. They've always done amazing with Worlds, at least in my opinion.
I feel like
And
that the worlds in some of the games are better than others, but I will agree that they're not terrible. It depends how big these planets are, but if we're talking like 1,000+ planets, the real just the amount of manpower required to make 1,000 planets to visit in a game, not even
mhm.
including bug testing, just making them is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hold on, stream's dying. Stream has died. Coming back? Are we coming back? Oh, it's still in the red. It's still in the red. What are we doing, stream?
Oh, no.
We got orange. Oh my goodness. It's in the red. Why are you dropping frames? Oh, oh, it's trying. You know, bandwidth. Okay, there we go. We're back. We're back. We're back. Back. It's good now. I got it. What was I saying? Yeah, the real person cost of you gotta stop this. Okay, I'm gonna stop it. Start it again. Yeah, we're stopping it for a second. Be
Gotcha.
right back.